Hello grapplers and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna talk about Zangief. Twice. We're gonna talk about the matchup between Zangief, the mirror match. I wish I could tell you this is the matchup where you're gonna use your brain the most, but something happens when you see another Zangief player. We all revert back to our most basic instincts. So yeah, today we're gonna talk about the infamous Zangief matchup. I'm gonna tell you right away, I played a lot of Zangief, the mirror match. It's very random. You'll have to do things you're not supposed to do in other matches. So let's start by the simple things. You can use standing medium punch and sweep against almost everything Zangief can do. If the other Zangief really wants to hit you with standing medium punch and you react fast enough, you can hit with another standing medium punch of your own or just use sweep. Standing medium kick is not the button I like the most here. With the nerf to range, even Zangief can punish it very easily since you have long buttons, so he doesn't struggle that much in terms of punishing this thing. You can use standing heavy punch, standing medium punch. The stop sign, by far the best stop sign, is standing light punch. These things sometimes puts you in a really risky situation if you don't correctly guess the distance. Against Zangief, since he has long buttons, you have to be kinda careful with that thing. I feel I prefer more standing light punch for consistency. Standing heavy punch beats almost everything. Don't abuse it, because the other Zangief player can see your standing heavy punch and react with their own, so that this can lead into a matchup where both Zangief players just want to hit themselves with standing heavy punch. Careful, use this as a reactionary poke. Since Zangief sweep is minus 13, 12 frames of startup, you can technically punish this almost every time with your own sweep, so you don't have to think too much. Zangief jump is also pretty slow, so you can use regular lariat very late in the case of Zangief, or OD lariat, the classics. You can abuse the lack of a proper cross-up. Against another Zangief player, you can totally do this. Very carefully though, because they can perfect parry, and roughly if you do the really high body splash, they can be up to plus 11, so they can SPD. This is not really safe, so be careful. If someone is doing this against you, you can wait, see what they want to do, and when you see them trying to cross you up, dash forwards, or back jump, light punch, or light kick technically. Well, you can use both, but you can stop that situation with a back jump. If you want to be fancy, you can also do the neutral headbutt and go into borscht. You will be required to do a lot of drive rush, crouching light punch compared to other characters. Why? Because Zangief, probably the only reliable thing he has besides using supers, is waking up with, the dry reversal. One thing you can do against Zangief, and probably this is gonna be the first time I'm gonna formally talk about the OS, the crouching light punch OS. This is kinda difficult to do. If you don't do it correctly, you get the dry rush. But the idea is to do two crouching light punches with a parry in between. If they wake up with dry reversal, you will parry the dry reversal and be plus 6, go for the SPD, and if they don't, you continue your Oki with your pokes. It's very difficult to do consistently, but you can technically do it. I just prefer to do the crouching light punch and see what they do. That's just my thing. It is something you have to consider, or you have to consider using crouching light punch against Zangief. You can wake up with dry reversal and really mess up your regular grab or your SPD. If you want to get a DI, this is something that happens a lot. For example, I've seen a lot of Zangief players trying to use DI between strings. Something like, for example, like this. You can respond. In order to stop the other Zangief player from getting a standing heavy punch and punish your DI, what you have to do is use driver's headbutt into DI. There you go. See? Counter hit. I don't have enough frames to go into the standing heavy punch. Everything else, including driver's crouching medium punch, driver's lights, into DI will leave a window big enough for the other Zangief player to use the standing heavy punch. I'm in burnout, just this. And that Zangief player will not have enough time to react. Now in this state, you can also use driver's crouching medium punch into the eye, and they will not have enough frames to react to the standing heavy punch. Or you can driver's hell stab, use the DI, but that will be a lock. That means you won't have enough frames to create the wall bounce you want. But you can do that if you want to be plus in the corner. See, that's a lock. And the lock is always plus 1. Since you're always leaving a small window for them to react, they can match the super level 2 and super level 3. That's just something that happens. The rest is very, very, very random. You want the obvious things like spine buster, driver spine buster, but you need to do random things. The other Zangief player probably really wants to use SPD, and that covers some situations in the case of Zangief. For example, So be very careful with the buttons you're using. Against another Sangi player, don't try to drive rush knee that much, because they will grab you. Go for standing medium punch, standing heavy punch, something like that. The other Sangi player has to recognize the knee very fast, so technically in this matchup you can be a little more crazy with the knee. The rest of the buttons working more or less the same way. There's not really any tech that is significant in this matchup. A lot of random DIs are required because standing medium punch, as you know, is weak to DI, and I don't think any Sangi players will be using crouching medium punch at this range. You want this to wave punish, so you're gonna be closer. Here in the neutral, players will be using standing medium kick, standing medium punch, and so on and so on. So a random DI is necessary. You'll have to abuse headbutt too to enforce your plus frames. If the other Sangi player is in burnout, just go crazy. Remember to mix it up though. Headbutt cannot be dry reversal, as you see here. The other buttons, well, that's different. Headbutt in this matchup is very abusable. You can definitely create some nasty situations for the other Sangi. If you don't commit, you can block the dry reversal. Remember this. Now if they want to poke like crazy, like headbutt, and they commit to a button, like Hellstab, there's nothing they can do. Standing heavy punch, as you can see, you can dry reversal that thing. If you dry rush and use a button that recovers relatively fast, you can still block the dry reversal. But that doesn't apply to, you know, the classics, the ones that are already weak to the eye. Since Zangief is also weak in terms of dry rushes, be careful too, even if you use the gapless dry brushes. Do you really want to use super level 2 or super level 3 here? Super level 2 is more consistent. With super level 3 you have to delay it a little bit. There we go. But in general, it's a very, very difficult matchup to be in. Super random. A lot of weird things happen. I'm not particularly happy of the way I win my matches against Zangief, nor the way I lose them. Because it's just very random. You have to go sometimes for something crazy, like a random sweep just because. You have to use a random standing heavy punch sometimes just because, or hold it a little bit because they're mashing. The eyes are so strong against Zangief, you can just go crazy sometimes, like out of nowhere, just a standing medium punch and then a DI. That's the thing I don't like about this matchup. It is so random, it's very difficult to actually get something out of it. It's nuts! It's nuts, I tell you. I hope you like this video. If you really like this content, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, keep playing grapplers. Bye bye.